Hey guys, Skill Legend here, and sorry for the previous iteration of this video. Time restraints got me. I muted my mic to answer the phone, and then paused the other video, and then continued on without my mic on. It was a mess. So, I don't know what part of the audio got recorded, I don't know what part didn't, but anyways, I'm really sorry guys. Um, but anyways, what I planned to talk about today was all the anime related news. There's so much of it that I'm just gonna get right into it. The first thing that we got was the Sun and Moon uh, anime logo, which, most of you guys might be thinking, why is that news? But it's actually pretty significant seeing as we haven't gotten anything really anime related at all. So this is huge. I mean, it could be a sign of things to come in the next couple of weeks, and I'll probably end up talking about that later once we get to the episode titles. But something that I want to mention to you guys is a lot of you have been talking about how Serena may be going, Serena might not be going, Serena leak this, Serena not leak this. And first things I want to mention is two of the leaks that I've seen have mentioned Serena and Lily. And why that's significant to me is that while Brock and Gary are interchangeable in these leaks, and while they may not be true, or they might be true, or, anywhere in between, it kind of reminds me of like when you're talking to, let's say you get in a car accident and you're talking to the cop, and then you also have the person who also is in the accident, or a witness, or someone else. They tell their story, you tell your story, and certain things come together and they line up, and the cop can kind of piece together what's true and what's not. Well, that's kind of what it feels like here. Two different leaks, one says Brock, one says Gary, but the thing that they both have in common is Serena and Lily. And that really gives me kind of hope for this whole Sun and Moon. Serena's gonna be in it. That's just something that I feel is kind of significant. It may not be significant to you guys, but that's just what I think. Like when you get certain things that match, there's some relevance to it, at least in my opinion. But anyways, something else I wanted to mention is that there's this guy going around saying that Serena's not in Alola. And what really bugs me about this guy is it's the same guy who told us that Serena was going to be in Alola in the first place. The first guy who ever said anything about Serena being in Alola. And what really bugs me is that this guy literally lost all of his credibility flipping his mind all the way, all of a sudden. And second of all, the other thing that lost credibility from at least me, in my opinion, is that this guy was the same guy who referred to Mallow, even though we've known her name since basically the Chinese leaks, what were end of May, early June. I don't remember. Anyways, it's been months. We looked at the trailer, we learned her name, and he keeps referring to her as the green-haired girl. I don't know, man. If you're gonna say, hey, this is true, and this is leaked and confirmed, or a rumor, or whatever, at least know the characters' names. Whether they're English, Japanese, whatever, just... I can't take you seriously if you say the green-haired girl. Okay, well what if Mallow's not the only green-haired girl in the game? Like... It'd be like saying, oh yeah, the blonde-haired girl's coming back to Pokemon. Okay, well we know of Karina, Serena, all these other people, like that. It doesn't really say anything to me. Anyways, I'm off subject. Another thing that I want to mention is something that I've iterated before and I want to reiterate. Here's the reasons that I believe Serena's going to Alola. 1. She has 3 Pokemon. Every single Pokegirl before her has had 5, at least. That's significant to me. 2. Every Pokegirl that has been popular, keyword popular, has had 4 or 5 seasons. Now I know that these seasons are shorter because they don't have as much filler and the previous seasons had filler on top of filler, and people are gonna say that, but it's significant to me. Misty had 5 seasons. May and Dawn both had 4. I don't know. I just feel that's significant because it wouldn't make sense to me for Serena, who's been pretty much just as popular as any of those girls. I won't say that she is the most popular, but as popular as those girls, to only have 3 just wouldn't make sense to me. Fourth of all, we haven't had any confirmed anime news about new companions. I've said this before in a different video, but usually we get 4 to 6 months. When Serena was released, we got I think it was like a something in the Smash manga or whatever. I can't remember correctly. I know it was a Smash episode. But and then we got like some confirmation on the website for the anime. And while we've had news on Lily and How on the game website, we haven't had anything on the anime website and anime related stuff. And so it really bothers me that if they're going down this route, if they're going to announce companions and put them in this calendar like I mentioned in my previous video, or like some kind of preview, that if they're going to change companions, they're doing it with like a little bit more than 3 months left, because they've usually given us 4 to 6 months. So that's kind of another reason that I think Serena's going along to Alola. Lastly, and this one's big to a lot of people because it would be kind of offensive, and I kind of don't want to mention it, but I'm going to. So, currently, as of episode 40, Serena is sitting at 135 episodes total. XY, XY Kalos, Quest, XYZ. 135 episodes. With 9 episodes left, that would put her at 144. Okay. So I was looking at other people in the show. I didn't count Dawn, I didn't count Misty, I didn't count May, because they've all had 4 or 5 seasons. And they've also had, like I said, a lot of filler episodes. So, they're closer to 400, 350, whatever. However, Iris, who had 3 seasons and is probably considered to be the least liked Pokegirl of the entire Pokemon anime, with all of her seasons, all of her episodes, is at 146. This is the main reason why I think that Serena's going to Alola, because I just don't think that this popular of a character would have 2 episodes less than the least popular character in the entire anime. And if she did, that would be the number one reason I would be so angry with Pokemon and the company. You got this character that you created with a great story, great development, has a great relationship with the characters and Ash. You gave all these Easter eggs, all these great hints, and you give her 2 less episodes than the least liked character, Pokegirl, in the entire 19 years of the anime. Gives me a headache just thinking about it. Anyways, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about, to segue off of that entire issue, is the X, Y, and Z episodes. Now, I know I don't have episode 42 on here, and I'm so sorry, but I don't even want to talk about the episodes. I'll let you read those yourself. The only thing that I want to mention with those is my ideas on what's going to happen. In episode 43, which is part of the 1 hour special, which I'm going to come back to later, the big thing that sits on my mind is the last sentence. They save Chespy, but something happens. Now, a lot of people are speculating that Serena's gonna die. Some people are speculating that Alan's gonna die. Some people are speculating that no one's gonna die because Clembot already died and died and died and died. Anyways, my thoughts are actually quite different from everyone else's. I've watched the Pokemon anime since I was 7. I've seen Ash die twice. I've seen, countless Pokemon die, not so many people. I've seen tragedy and tragedy and tragedy. So I'm gonna go with third time's a charm. I'm gonna say that Ash dies again. Obviously he's gonna come back because, Pokemon doesn't leave Ash dead very long. But I just feel like this is gonna be another one of those times where Ash sacrifices himself. And it might, and I hate saying this, it might be the end of Ash Greninja, because I feel like there's going to be one of those moments where Greninja dies that way that, you know, when the inevitable Ash goes to Alola thing happens, Greninja's not going to come along because he's no longer with us. I know that sounds really dark, but that's just my thoughts. Don't kill me. I just feel like Pokemon likes to reset things. And it's unfortunate, but I just can't see Ash going to Alola with Greninja. Although, I guess it just depends on the circumstances of what they do with Alola. Because right now, I don't really know too much about the trial captains. If the trial captains are harder than gyms and they're supposed to be like the quote unquote Elite Four of the the Kalos extended area, then by all means I could see Ash Greninja being very valuable to him. Because, I mean, there are 4 trial captains. It could be very well that this is their, you know, Elite Four. I mean, I've never really thought of that until just now when I was talking about it, so it could be very well true. But I don't know. I don't. If it is their Elite Four, then great. Ash Greninja will probably be involved in Alola. If not, then I just can't see him going along. He's just too powerful. He would literally make it so that Ash doesn't need any other Pokemon from the other region. And that's what this is supposed to promote. The other region, a new story. Hopefully a good story. Anyways, so something significant about this is one, that's the end of the 1 hour episode. The special. And we're supposed to get some anime related news to Sun and Moon after the 1 hour special's over. I don't know if it's going to be a preview, a trailer, whatnot. I just hope that we get something that they actually promise us. They said that it's going to be big, so it could be, confirmation of the companions, confirmation of Serena, confirmation of any number of things. I really just hope that they don't troll us and make us wait until the very end to see if Serena goes with Ash, because that would be very disappointing. I can't see why they would do that, because at that point we have, 5 episodes left? And, it just seems very out of character to have the biggest climactic ending of the arc and then just keep everything else hidden. At this point, I feel like if they're going to have a good ending, they might as well just tell people, because I don't think people can hold on for, another month or 2 to figure out if Serena's going to go. And to be totally honest, if they would do that, I feel like it's too much of a cash cow milking move, and it would make them look really bad, especially if Serena didn't go along, because that's it, If you're going to not have Serena go along with Ash, at least be honest about it, at least let people know, so that they don't waste their time, because otherwise, like I said, it just sounds like you're making people stick around so you can cash out the money while you still have the opportunity. And honestly, that would make me mad to the point where I probably wouldn't watch Sun and Moon for a while, even though I would still give it a chance, because that's me. I've been watching the anime since I was a little kid. I wouldn't give up just because Serena left. Anyways, as you noticed, probably by the picture, episode 44 isn't coming out till October 6th. That's 2 weeks after the 1 hour special. And it could be that we're getting lots and lots and lots and lots of anime news during that time. It could be that they're just taking a break to let the English dub catch up. No one knows. But they're taking a 2 week break, which is going to be killer. Or it could just be that they're trying to make the X, Y, and Z anime and more closely to the release date of Sun and Moon, which could make sense. I mean, if they don't have any more breaks, the Sun and Moon game comes out the 18th, and if they, like I said, if they don't have any more breaks, this episode would make it so that the last 6 episodes, or the final episode, would be on the 17th. So, I guess that makes sense somewhere. I don't know. Anyways, what's significant about this is the Clement's decision. Um, Honestly, I don't know what to think about that. Uh, I've been talking to people left and right about, will Clement and Bonnie go to Alola? I've been made fun of. I've had people say that that's stupid, ridiculous. You know, even though people want Serena to go, but they just don't think Clement or Bonnie are gonna go, just due to the fact that Clement's a gym leader, that he has responsibilities, that he told his father that he was going to end the Kalos League. But to be totally honest, I could see them doing something like this, having Bonnie, Clement, and Serena all go to the next region because it's something fresh, it's something they haven't done since the beginning, and since this is a lot like a Kanto remake, and you know, it seems like Sun and Moon's going to be a Johto, or not Johto, I'm sorry, an Orange Islands remake. I could see all the companions going along like they did for the beginning of that. Also, I don't know. It seems very story driven. XY, Kyle's Quest, XYZ, and a big part of the story in the game for Sun and Moon is Zygarde. Zygarde, cells, cores, Zygarde 100% form. It just seems like a big part of the game, and Squishy has been a big part of the anime, and, X, Y, and Z, and so has Bonnie. Bonnie's been taking care of the the Zygarde form for, you know, a significant amount of time. I don't know. I really can't see the anime going anywhere story direction wise without Bonnie being a part of it, because Bonnie would want to know what happened. Bonnie would want to know more about Zygarde, and so would Clement. Um, I don't know. I really cannot see them leaving and, it being as story driven as it was before, because, you know, Bonnie's been taking care of this thing. Bonnie's been caring for this thing. They've been learning about this thing, and it wouldn't make sense to me. So I could see them going to Alola with Ash, with Serena, and I mean, obviously I can't see Bonnie going by herself or Clement going by themselves. It just wouldn't make sense. But I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Do you even care if Clement or Bonnie go? Do you want Clement or Bonnie to go? If you do care, what do you guys think about all the stuff with Serena? And what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think that she's going? Are you guys clueless? Do you guys even care at this point? Like, there's so much going on that's sometimes even just really hard to even grasp and care about what's going on. But I just want to know what you guys think. I mean, my mind is boggled right now with all the news that we're getting. How do you guys feel? Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.